You're listening to an episode of the Abigail Pugh podcast with, you guessed it, Abigail Pugh. I'm an introverted mama who took my online business from 0 to 7 figures in 15 months selling my own digital products on social media. And guess what? I did it all with my 3-year-old daughter no less than 3 feet away from me at all times. Now I'm bringing you everything I've learned about building a wildly profitable online business that supports your life while allowing you to truly live it. Get ready for raw, honest conversations with entrepreneurs making thousands per month selling their own digital products and people just like you who ditch self-doubt to create the life they've always wanted. If you're ready to make more money, have more impact, and still have time for the things that matter most, you're in the right place. Grab your sneakers, head out on your hot girl walk, and let's dive in. Okay, y'all, I live for this kind of content, and I feel like not a lot of people did it this year, which I was super bummed about, but today I am going to be going through my 2025 predictions for Instagram and digital products. Now, I want to preface this episode by saying that these are just my personal predictions. If you do something different than what I'm predicting in this episode, that's totally okay, right? Like, this is not me giving you absolutes. These are literally just my predictions, but I will say everything that I am predicting for 2025 are things that I am incorporating into my business or my content strategy in 2025. So feel free to do the same. Okay, first and foremost, I think we are going to see viewers pretty much over income claim marketing the way we have seen it this year. Now, don't get me wrong, I love numbers and I love sharing data as a way to educate and show expertise. But I feel like in 2024, so many people only used income claims to sell and give off this whole, if I can make $1 million in 4 months, so can you vibe. And it turned predatory so fast. And I think consumers are getting so much smarter and better at sniffing out bullshit that this ain't gonna work in 2025. Not to mention, so many of the income claims that people are using on social media are wildly non-compliant with the FTC, which if you haven't dug into that hole yet, you absolutely should. I read a book called Don't Say That. It's amazing. I will link it in the show notes for you, but it's just gonna like blow your whole mind on what you're allowed to say and what you're not allowed to say when it comes to income claims. Next up, I think comfort marketing is going to explode in 2025. I feel like we've had this wave of, I'm going to make you feel like shit, so you buy my digital product marketing. And I don't know about you, but I'm over it. And I've noticed a huge shift in the content going viral and having insane amounts of comments and engagement. And so much of it is comfort content that you watch and immediately go, oh shit, that's me. Or, oh my gosh, I love this and I need to try this immediately, right? People want to watch content that makes them feel good or makes them feel triggered in a good way. Okay, this next one is, again, 100% just my prediction, which is legit just a guess, y'all. But I think low ticket digital products are going to explode even more, but with a slight twist. I feel like we had this huge wave of high ticket courses in, 2022, 2023, and so many people got burned by them, right? And then in 2024, low ticket digital products really started to take off. And I think that will absolutely continue in 2025 because people want an entry level and affordable way to learn from someone before investing more in them. But here's the twist. In 2025, your digital product cannot be informational only, right? It has to also include some way to implement the information, right? Like prompts, templates, maybe even challenges, because here's the deal. People have spent so much money on digital products and courses over the years, and now they need to actually implement them, right? So make sure your digital product has that worked into it for 2025 so your customers can actually apply what you are teaching and get results. That way they keep coming back for more. Okay, back to another Instagram prediction. And some of y'all are not going to like this, but I think boring and disconnected B-roll videos are going to die out in 2025. The ones where you throw some text on a random B-roll and add a trending audio, right? Yeah, I think those are basically done. Instead, I think we're going to see a huge influx of reels that still use B-roll, text, and some trending audio, but the B-roll is connected to what you are saying in the text on the reel. And honestly, these aren't that much harder to do. So, for example, if I had a reel with text that said, this is your reminder that if your business allows you to make cookies with your kid in the middle of the day on a Friday, you're successful. But I paired that with a random B-roll video of me typing on my laptop. That literally wouldn't make sense, right? Like that doesn't go together. Whereas if I paired that text with a heartfelt trending Christmas audio and a sweet B-roll video of me making cookies with my daughter, it would make you feel so much more than that random video, right? And at the end of the day, your content, it needs to make people feel something so they can connect with you. And the simplest tweaks will help you do that. Okay, this next prediction is based on what I'm already seeing firsthand, but carousels are 100% making a comeback for Instagram and for sales on Instagram. Reels obviously are absolutely still relevant and amazing, but carousels are gonna give them a run for their money in 2025. Especially since your carousels can now show up on the Reels feed if you add music to your carousel. And I think that this comes back to people wanting to connect more on social media because carousels really allow you to do that, and they are self-paced, right? So people can swipe through and read it at their own pace. And I think a lot of people love that right now, especially after Reels, they're so popular so fast, but they're so fast-paced. And fun little tip for you here. My favorite carousels to use lately are the kinds where you literally just use the same image as the background for the entire carousel. And again, make sure that image is somehow connected to what you are saying in the carousel if you can. Okay, this next one is huge for 2025. And even as a consumer myself, I want more of this, but I think transparency and context are going to be absolutely crucial in 2025, right? People want transparency and context more than ever. They are sick of just hearing the wins without also hearing what it actually took to get those wins, right? And I'm all for it because with short form content, it's so easy to leave the context out and paint a picture that really isn't true. And it doesn't discredit you or your knowledge to share the hard moments. I promise. That's kind of the pushback I get all the time, especially from people in my community when they're afraid to share, be transparent and share the hard moments. And they're afraid to give more context because they're afraid it's going to make them sound like they don't know what they're talking about. But if anything, giving context and being transparent about the hard moments that you've worked through to get where you're at, it humanizes you even more. And people buy from real life humans, okay? Okay, don't forget that. Last but not least, I think low ticket paid communities and or subscriptions are going to blow the hell up in 2025. And I've honestly already seen it happening at the end of 2024. Consumers are wanting more. They want more connections, more feedback, and somewhere to belong. And they're willing to invest in that. So I want you to think about how you can serve your audience with something that is monthly and ongoing, right? Like something they can be part of with you, something that isn't just a one-time purchase that they will buy and forget about. And I will actually be doing a podcast on this soon and everything to consider before launching a paid community, since I actually just launched mine earlier this summer and I've learned so much. And I legit have wanted to do a paid community since the beginning of my business, but I was always so afraid to commit to it. And now, honestly, I can't imagine my life without it. And it's where my main focus is going to be for 2025. So I actually think I'm also going to do something where it's either 75 days or 90 days. I haven't quite narrowed it down yet, where I sell one product every single day. And I make sure that my email or my thread or my Instagram post or my story is selling that one product. And it's going to be my community every single day for 90 days because I'm a huge advocate and believer in compound marketing, right? Where we think, okay, I talked about it for 5 days and nobody saw it, but maybe your audience saw it, but they didn't see it enough times. So that's, again, just another little thing I'm going to be testing in 2025. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. This was such a fun one. I have just been a little bit nervous to put this one out into the world because sometimes I feel like predictions feel like this is what's going to happen. And if you don't do this, your business is going to fail. And I don't know. That's not me. You guys know that is not me. And I know that there are nuances to everything. And one thing works for one person and it doesn't work for the other person. And so I was a little nervous to put this out there. But thank you guys so much for listening. I will see you next week, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you learned anything from this episode, I would love it if you could share it over on your Instagram stories and tag me at Abigail Pugh. Until next time, love you, mean it.